Do you remember him? Matt Hancock. Well, he was the health secretary during the COVID pandemic. And he's responsible for loads of elderly people dying in care homes. Well, 100,000 WhatsApp messages have been exposed by the Telegraph, the Tory graph. Yes, they're ganging up on Tories now, it seems. Well, I have this article here, happens to be in the LBC. There you go. And I have to admit, it's quite a good article actually, so I thought I'd share it with you. Now, it says here that the former Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, has disputed claims. Do you believe anything that he says? That he rejected expert advice from Professor Chris Whitty on COVID tests for people going into care. Yeah, care homes at the start of the pandemic. But the evidence is here, which I'll share with you in a moment. And there's one person, a name that we should all be talking about, and that is Isabel Oakeshott. The girlfriend of us at Richard Leistice, of the Reform UK party. Well, she was also the co-author of Matt Hancock's book, The Pandemic Diaries. And he apparently shared these WhatsApp messages with her. Apparently. Well, this investigation by the Telegraph that examined more than 100,000 WhatsApp messages alleges that he rejected... We've got to say alleged. It's probably true, though. We've got to say alleged, though. That he rejected advice to give coronavirus tests to all residents going into English care homes. Point out, English care homes. Not British care homes. Anyway, the MP denied that the distorted account with a spokesman alleging the... messages leaked by the journalist Isabel Oakeshott. Sorry, got to laugh, haven't you? Yeah. After she worked on his pandemic diaries. Now, his memoirs. sorry. Have you read that book? Because I know I haven't. No. I'd rather read Miriam Margolyes, because she's brilliant. Yeah. She says the F word a lot. Anyway. So the source told LBC's political editor, Theo Ushwood, he also got COVID, I don't know if you remember, he was quite ill. And Mr. Hancock views the WhatsApp messages as stolen. Isabel Oakeshott stole the WhatsApp messages. Just put it out there. Yep, so that's what Chris Whitty told the then Health Secretary in April 2020 that there should be testing for all going into care homes. Everybody going into care homes should be tested. Now, if you ask me, that is pretty obvious. But what did Matt Hancock say? He said it muddied the waters. That's what Matt Hancock said. Now, why was this? Why did he say that? Well, he said that because he had to, he wanted to reach his target of 100,000 tests a day. Yeah. 100,000 tests a day. I'll leave the article down below in the description if you want to read it for yourself. And they just, obviously if you're doing care homes, testing in care homes is a much slower process. You're not going to meet your 100,000 a day, you see. So he's just thinking about making themselves look good. So when he stood up there with all the screens behind, next slide please, when they're doing all of that, or when he put himself in front of that, that super hospital place where they couldn't get the doctors and nurses, and he put himself on that big screen. It's just so he can say, look what I've done. Ain't I great? While people were dying. So it wasn't just Alexander Boris Johnson responsible for the bodies piled high. No. It was Matt Hancock. Yeah. Got to be careful what I'm saying now. Yeah. Anyway, a spokesman for Mr. Hancock said that the former Health Secretary is considering all options in response to the leak, with a source close to him telling the PA news agency she's broken a legal non-disclosure agreement. Her behaviour is outrageous, and that's referring to Isabel Oakeshott. God, she's awful, though. She is absolutely awful. Well, the Telegraph intentionally excluded reference to a meeting, apparently, with the testing team from the WhatsApp. Now, this is critical, because Matt was supportive of Chris Whitty's advice. Obviously, this is Matt Hancock's defence. Held a meeting on its deliverability and told it wasn't deliverable. Rubbish. and insisted on testing all those who came from hospitals. Well, the Telegraph has been informed that their headline was wrong, according to Matt Hancock, of course. In this case, I happen to believe the Telegraph. Maybe I have to believe Isabel Oakeshott on this one as well. Oh dear, that's painful. Oh dear. I might have to sit down after this. Oh, I am. Okay. So a major error by Isabel Oakeshott and the Telegraph shows that why the proper place for analysis like this is the inquiry, not a partial agenda-driven leak of confidential documents. Well, the fact of the matter is, it's going to take absolutely months, if not years, probably years and years, just like the Hillsborough disaster and stuff like that, before we see any of this inquiry come to light. By that time, all the evidence becomes dissolved. It's ridiculous. Anyway, and he's an old man then, you see, Matt Hancock. Oh, so let's get to Mrs. Oakeshott. Mrs. Oakeshott, who has described lockdowns as an unmitigated disaster. Yes, she did. She was keen on lockdowns, was she? And said that she was releasing the messages because it would take many years before the end of the official COVID inquiry, which she claimed could be a colossal whitewash. Maybe I agree with some parts of that. I don't believe that lockdowns were a bad idea. No, I don't. I think it saved many lives. I really do. And so then she goes on to say, that's why I've decided to release this sensational cache, as she puts it, of private communications. She was told to shut up yesterday by somebody. I can't remember who it was now, but somebody told her to shut up in an interview. Or was it on a panel debate? Yeah, panel debate. Because I think it was on the politics live show. It was on the BBC. That's it. Yeah. Anyway, because we absolutely cannot wait any longer for answers. That's what she says. That's his Oakeshott for you. I'd like some answers regarding the Cambridge Analytica and your other half's involvement. That's what I would like. Mr. Hancock described it as an obviously good positive step. However, the investigation said he later responded to an aide. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I would rather leave it out and commit to test and isolate all going into care from hospital. I do not think that the community commitment adds anything and it muddies the waters. So the spokesman for Matt Hancock said, the Telegraph story is wrong, arguing that instead of spinning and leaks, we need a full and comprehensive inquiry. It's going to take years. It is outrageous that this distorted account of the pandemic is being pushed with partial leaks spun to fit an anti-lockdown agenda, which would have cost hundreds of thousands of lives if followed. I agree. Yeah, sorry. What the messages do show is that a lot of people working hard to save lives. That's what the spokesman for Matt Hancock said. Those who argue there shouldn't have been a lockdown ignore the fact that 500,000 people would have died if there was not a lockdown. I'm not arguing with that. And for those saying that we should never lock down again, imagine if a disease killed half those infected and half the population were going to get infected, as this is happening right now with avian flu in birds. There's a lot going on about that at the moment, this H-something virus from bird flu, and it can be transmitted to humans. So, yeah, it's not helpful. And that's one of the reasons why you've got no eggs. It's because obviously the bird pandemic, the bird flu. So, major issue. So they're culling loads of birds here in the EU, but also it's in the UK as well. Anyway, so if that disease were in humans, and it is, of course we'd want to do some sort of lockdown. It was to be transmitted between human and human, obviously. Now he continued that the story spun on care homes is completely wrong, says Matt Hancock, spokesperson, obviously, the guise of Matt Hancock, I suppose. What the messages show is that Mr. Hancock pushed for testing of those going into care homes when the testing was available, and the full documents have already been made available to the inquiry, which is the proper place for an objective assessment so true lessons can be learned. Have we got any further with Partygate yet? No. In September 2020, during a severe backlog in testing, messages suggest that the advisor to Matt Hancock helped to get a test sent to a senior Conservative Mr. Rees-Mogg's home. Let's repeat that. In September 2020, during a severe backlog in testing, messages suggest that an advisor to Matt Hancock helped to get that wheel and pencil, the walking penny farthing, Jacob Rees-Mogg, a conceited, maybe, yeah, conservative, to his home. So he get all tested, you see. I'm alright, Jack. They'd messaged Mr. Hancock to say that the lab had lost the original test for the one that then the Commons leader's children. Alright. So we've got a courier going to the family home tonight. A courier. Just about Hancock. AIDS. Well, not Matt Hancock, for Jacob Rees-Mogg, that wheel and pencil, doff cap forelock and all that. Well, commenting on the claim, Liberal Democrat Deputy Leader Daisy Cooper said that this is yet more evidence that it's one rule for the Conservative ministers and another rule for everybody else. And that is pretty much how the story goes. Us minions, we're cannon fodder, we're lemons. Plebs, we're just there to do their bidding. Earn their money. Because money is filtering up, not down. Well, actually, it's a flippin' like geezer, yeah. It's not great, is it? Well, I hope Matt Hancock gets his cuppence, but I very much doubt it. You just get pushed to one side again. That's all. I just don't get it. I don't understand how politicians are not held to the same degree of criminality as us plebs are. I just feels very, very wrong. Very wrong, in fact. You got that Owen Paterson geese. They should be locked up. For the lobbying and what have you. It's criminal. If you do, that's what they need to do. If you're going against the rules in Parliament, what have you, that's what it's called now. Ministerial Code. If you're going against Ministerial Code, that will be made a criminal offence. And all Matt Hancock was doing during the pandemic, all he cared about was getting the 100,000 tests a day. It don't matter. Yeah, never mind the high risk patients; they didn't matter. Such as in the care homes, that the people at the highest risk, or those working and what have you in these places as well. Some of them were struggling to get tests. Even in the hospitals were struggling to get tests because all Matt Hancock was passing through those car park places. Done. Oh no, done. And to get his 100,000 a day. That's what he cared about. He's a despicable human being. And then what does he do while he's supposed to be looking after his constituents? He goes in the flippin' jungle. Maybe he will be told to pay back his, MP salary. Just like Nadine Dorries has just been. Anyway. We're planting trees here in France. Planting 1,000 trees on 2 hectares of land. We'll be part of that. There's a GoFundMe link down below in the description. And what we'll do, we'll plant a tree on your behalf and then put a sign with your name on, or maybe in memory of a loved one. Maybe you lost somebody in the pandemic. So that's what we do. So, or you can support us on Patreon or buy us a coffee, and the links are down below also. And that is very much appreciated because I couldn't do it without it. I really couldn't because I don't get enough views. So share the video. And also we've got our other channel, which is All Short Shorts, for which I put on all the little vertical shorts videos, which I put on this channel as well, to be fair. But they're different. Sometimes they're different, not always the same, so you might catch you out. Anyway, it's time for me to go, so to tell you, and have a lovely day. Yeah. Get yourself vaccinated. Secret word of the day. The secret word of the day is what you get a jab. What's a little jab? It's like a little prick. What's Matt Hancock? It's a little prick. I said, what's a naughty word? So the secret word of the day is, like, a prick. You can put any little... stretch it out if you like. It's the secret word of the day. Remember that. Prick. Ta-ta.